Hi, so today we're going to make some French braided bread. And we're going to start out by attaching the dough hook to our mixer. And we're going to start out with about 3 cups of flour. Most of the bread I make, the ingredients are pretty similar. There's just some changes in it. There's a little bit more salt in this one. In fact, it's the same dough recipe I use for the garbage bread, I believe. So I'm going to start out with about 3 cups of flour. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of salt. And a tablespoon of sugar. And I'm not going to add any seasoning to this. You can though. You can add onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, caraway seed, whatever you want to put into your bread. You can use Italian seasoning too if you want to do that. Maybe another time I will. You can pretty much add whatever. If you don't want to have just regular white bread, you can add a little bit of rye flour or wheat flour. I've been known to do that on occasion. So I'm adding 2 tablespoons of shortening now to these dry ingredients. Get out of there. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let's use this spatula and get the rest of it out here. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on low for a few minutes, a minute or so maybe. And I'm going to be adding the yeast next. Remember, I'm going to be adding like 2 packages. I use a jar of it. I buy it by the jar. And so 1 package is 2 1/4 teaspoons. So for 2 packages for this recipe, which will make 2 braided breads, I'm going to use 4 1/2 teaspoons. So I'm going to start out with 2 1/2 teaspoons. Adding it in, and then 2 teaspoons. I make a lot of bread. That's why I buy a big jar of it. So I try to, the dry ingredients, I try to mix them a little bit because it's bad for the yeast to be right in there with the sugar. It, you know, chemistry. So it has to do with the way it's going to grow, because yeast is a bacteria which allows the dough to rise. And now I'm going to add my warm water slowly. Now your water, you want it to be between 110 and 120 degrees. And what I do is I pull it right from the tap because our tap is pretty hot. I'm also going to turn my oven on to 200 degrees to get it nice and warm in there. And then right before I put the dough in, I'll turn it off. I also take a steel bowl and I'm going to spray it with some cooking spray. And then I'll be placing saran wrap over that. So now I'm going to turn that up just a little bit. 2 cups of hot water between 110 and 120 degrees. And I'm going to slowly add it. Slowly adding about a cup of it first. And I'm going to scrape down the sides. And I'm going to add another cup of flour. So that's going to give me about 4 cups of flour. Just trying to get all the flour off the top there. And then I'm going to slowly add the rest of the water. And you're going to have it cook on this speed, which is like medium speed. Scraping down the sides for just a few minutes. And then I'm going to add, it's a little liquidy, so I'm going to add like a half a cup of flour. And again, just getting the stuff off the top there. I'm going to get some saran wrap right now, and what I do is I put that over the dough bowl, so when it's rising, it keeps it in there. Sometimes it rises past the bowl, so it all depends. So I'm just going to put my things away here while that's going. I love things and I love it. I'm just raising it up right now because I have a lot of stuff here on the side and it's kind of grabbing it. Well, this water isn't really loose today. It must be because it's so cold outside. I don't know. You can't be so loose. I'm going to add a little bit more flour. I said it before in another video, and I'm going to say it again, that every dough is different. Okay, I'm going to turn it off now. And I'm just going to use this, take this dough hook off. And I'm just going to, see how liquidy it is? I just want to re-stir this with the flour that's already on in there. This is really loose. So I'm just pouring some flour in. If you can get a good look at that. It's gooey, that's for sure. Scrape some of the I'm going to put some flour down on the table, and then I'm going to put the dough on top of that flour. Now you see how loose that is now? My goodness. Okay. I'm going to put some more flour in here. I'm not the best measurer in the world, but at least you don't have a lot of complaints. So, here we are. It's definitely gooey gooey. That'll change once I get this flour all incorporated. My drain is going. Does that sound great? I forgot I had my washer going. That's what happens when you live in an old farmhouse. The plumbing, the electrical, everything is old. That's okay. I like it. So here we go, I'm kneading it. Okay. Hold on just a second. I just want to get some of this gooey off and sort of start over so it can stop attaching to my hands. That's a nice little trick. I don't know if it's a trick, but it's something I do. I hope you've had an opportunity to look at my blog and see the some things I posted up there, some recipes and some of my quilting and projects that I do. Pretty simple. Do a lot of things old school. You know, like making bread. People have been making bread homemade for hundreds of years, so can't be all bad, right? And at least we know what we're putting in our bodies. As long as they're not, you know. Never mind. Never mind, I'm rambling. So there we go. So now, like I said, I've turned my oven off. I've taken a steel bowl and sprayed it with cooking spray. And then I'm just going to place the dough right inside there. I'm going to put some saran wrap right on top of that, like this. I'm going to put it right in the oven. And just like all of my other dough, I let it rise for 60 minutes. And in 60 minutes we'll come back and I'll show you how to braid up some bread.